Hello all, I am Eógan Svartauga. I am mainly into the SCA sphere of things, and I really like to do historical costuming, hence why I wanted to try and do a YouTube, because I just liked making so much stuff and sharing it, I guess. It's a really fun thing to do. Today's video I'm going to be doing a Viking Age tunic, and we'll be talking about the process and sharing that. It's not directly a tutorial on how to do them, though if people are interested in seeing like a different kind of tutorial for making the tunics, I can do that absolutely. I'm not by no means a professional, I just really like making stuff and doing the whole learning process and all of that. Now, before we get started, Nazis and white supremacists and any kind of phobicists, homophobic, transphobic, are not welcome here at all. Because one, no Nazis in Valhalla, and two, my pronouns are he, him. Contrary to what my voice says, I have a testosterone deficiency. So yeah, I hope you guys have fun here, and I hope you guys would return. I do want to get into posting more content, and I have some more cool projects brewing. So thank you so much, and let's get into the video. Alright, starting out we have a pattern that I've drafted off of the Seems True Viking Tunic pattern generator. I just went ahead and transferred that onto paper, and that is a separately drafted neckline because the one has some speculation, so it's best to leave it alone. And yeah, it's pretty simple from that. The linen that I have here is a wonderful mustard yellow. It's 100% linen, and this I got from Linen Envy. Wonderful store, and they have wonderful quality of linen. Like, just look at that. The colors in my room here are a bit weird, but it's a nice yellow, trust. As I mentioned previously, I didn't like my wide neckline, so I redrafted the keyhole with a shorter slit here, and yeah. Here I'm just laying out all of my pattern pieces. I tend to do the biggest ones first because they take up the most fabric. I also tend to get the as minimal amount of fabric that I can get because I have a small budget to work with, and sometimes natural fabrics aren't cheap at all because thanks cotton and polyester. But yes, as you'll see here in a minute, you'll see me struggling with, not struggling, but puzzling out how to fix the gores and the sleeves to fit together on this, because I think it's just a straight 2 yards of linen. Yeah, getting it all in there. As little scrap as I can get, you know, just... On a separate piece of linen that's been pieced together, I'm cutting out a new draft of that neckline I had earlier. I've actually, this is old footage, and I've further redrafted this even more so that the neckline is more slim fitting to my neck. I just don't like how this one is so wide and it ends up showing my binder, and no, that's not modest for me. I don't like having that shown off at all. So this is even old footage. I still have this tunic, I still wear it, it's lovely, it's wonderful, just, it's a bit outdated at this point now. The wonderful thing about Viking Age tunic patterning is that it's a bunch of rectangles, and it's so lovely on the brain once you just figure out that, oh, yeah. But here I am just cutting the rectangle in half, which is a kind of hard thing to do when you don't have a big enough ruler to do. So, yeah. So since I had to draft the sleeves kind of in half, I'm sewing them back together. And then flat felling them with the machine. I sometimes sew tunics by hand, sometimes not, but yeah. And then I'm inserting the gusset into this. If you want a proper tutorial on how to insert gussets, Morgan Donner has one, and I'll link it down below, and it's wonderfully magic. But yeah, so just enjoy a small little bit of sewing compilation. Once I have both my sleeves and gores prepped, what I like to do is get the neckline done so that way I can sew it onto a flat surface. And I'm just measuring out the length of the overall thing, finding the middle, and placing the neck piece that I've cut out there to pin it down, sew around it, and once I've finished up sewing the neckline to the body piece, I take a pair of scissors and snip along the line that I had followed, and with the excess that's there, I take that and fold it over and hand sew it down. I don't do this part with machine because it can easily get caught and you have one of those stitches and it throws off the entire neckline, how it lays. Once I've gotten the neckline sewn in, I will take the body piece and lay it flat, turn the sleeves right side out, so that way I can pin and sew them to the corner. I make sure that they're all centered and evened out, because no one wants off-put seams. I tend to build mine 3D because I don't like the flat sewing method, I don't understand that, so this is what I do instead. Here I'm just pinning the gores in as that's the next step for me. I just tend to build it bottom down. I insert the gores lining the base of the gore up with the base of the body and pinning in from there, as if you line up the triangle tip of the gore with more of the sleeve head, it wouldn't work as well, and you need your length for the body. This is why I was mentioning lining up the bottom of your gores with the bottom of your body of the tunic, because you will end up with a bunch of excess that could have been used for good knee length after rucking, which is a very popular style in the Viking Age, which this is a tunic for. So I kind of messed it up here, and now I have mid-thigh, which is also okay, but knee length after you like ruck it up with your belt is more more applicable, liked. It's one of those A words, you know. It's better. That's what I mean. It's better. Also, here you can totally see me messing up the hemline. I just realized I had never fixed this, and I wondered how crooked it became, because I was just like, oh, I did all the right things, and just rewatching this back, I will now have to go and fix this. But yeah, trimming off the excess, like I said I was going to do. Marking the hemline with a 3cm hem. I was trying to preserve the length on this tunic because, again, I had to cut like a lot of that off because I kind of messed it up with the gore placement. This is one of those stupid smart things, but I just kind of rolled that cuff to where I wanted it to, marked it, and now I'm straightening out those lines so that way I can get a proper hem, and I am also marking out how much to cut off with this ruler, keeping the hems pretty similar. I am hand sewing this portion of the cuff because it is too narrow to fit around that neck leg portion for the sewing machine arm, and also it gives that nice color contrast to the seams. The tunic I'm doing this for is not a high enough class to have embroidered beasties along, so I'm doing like decorative stitching for this. I also have seemed to misplaced the footage of me doing the hem, but I believe I did that on machine or by hand. Just something basic and simple like a running stitch if it was by hand. But yeah, let's get to the finished product.